Glyphosate. Well, what is glyphosate? Glyphosate is a pesticide. What do pesticides do? They kill off organisms. They kill off bacteria. So it's a revolving cycle, a revolving door. We chose stuff like Bifidobacterium lactis, which has the ability to protect your cells and your digestive tract against.
Well, look at how Bill and Melinda Gates and the Rockefeller Foundation are behind Zika. That's admitted, patented it. They're in the treatment of it. They're obsessed with gut flora. They're heavily involved with Monsanto. Of course they're going to roll out a GMO products that then grow weed killer in our guts, that then grows cancers, because they see us as weeds.
By the way, Alex, we recommend that you keep the probiotics refrigerated, but the majority of probiotics in this formula are actually the way that we coat them with the certified organic gum acacia and the inulin in there. We actually give you food for the probiotics as well. So there's actually fulvic acid, which contains all the necessary minerals and nutrients the probiotics need to survive. We put the inulin in there, which is a natural food for probiotics, the gum acacia. So it's a probiotic, prebiotic formula as well.
In fact, let's stop. You take 5 minutes and I want to get into the designer babies because I've been interrupting with my excitement. Explain to people the 7 years of research, taking from research in Europe, adding to it, testing, years of you producing, making it better and better, why this is so different, why it's going to change the entire industry. And by the way, folks, 5 years ago, nobody was talking about true nascent iodine, not the alcohol-based garbage, not the stuff that you can't absorb that's toxic, but true, pure, good halogen. Now you go to Whole Foods, it's everywhere, but it's still the garbage type. I mean, that's how lazy these companies are, or I guess they're not as blessed as we are, but we've changed the whole industry. When we say this will change probiotics, this will change it. You will in a few years. Everyone will be copying this because this is the best probiotic out there, bar none. You can go to medical clinics and get it for $400, maybe get something as good in Europe. So Dr. Group, break it down, why it's such a game changer, Biome Defense.
It's such a game changer because 70% of your immune system is actually in your digestive tract. It's now been proven that 90% of all autoimmune diseases, which are running rampant, are gut-related. 9 out of 10 people with autism have probiotic imbalances. All the digestive disorders, leaky gut, constipation, Crohn's, it doesn't matter what it is, are all linked to probiotics. 70 million people suffer from digestive disorders. Dr. Alan Walker at Harvard, actually, that's where I am right now, he's a world-renowned doctor and probiotic specialist. He actually, quote, said, probiotics turn on the immune system and prevent pathogens from taking hold. So we have the immune link. We also have a lot of neuroscience research coming out, which we've been saying for years. Your brain is in your gut. I mean, all the prescriptions that people are given, especially the antidepressants, the anti-anxieties, all those affect your normal gut. Think about this. Think about if you have all the natural probiotics you need in your gut, how many antibiotics and prescription medications that people can get off of and come back to their normal state of living. And they're doing it with just putting the proper types of microorganisms.
I was about to tell, the average medical doctor, after you take antibiotics, won't tell you it kills all your gut flora. You've got to take probiotic. They don't even tell people.
Listen, I mean, well, a scary thought is they just did a study not too long ago, and they found 34% of organic food contains traces of antibiotics. We have antibiotic residue in the water supply. We have antibiotic residue everywhere. So regardless, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We have to focus on our own internal army. We have to take probiotics on a daily basis. I mean, and that's why I spent 7 years trying to figure out which ones are the best, how to do it, which ones are going to work in unison. And most of them in the formula, we haven't had time to do the long-term studies to see if we really are losing a lot of activity by not keeping it refrigerated. But I can say 90% of the ones in there we already know are heat resistant, acid resistant.
Sure, but we still keep it cold, which is an added expense, but again, it's important. Now, I was interrupting you. Run through how this is a different proprietary process, but you did take known, proven, super high-quality strains. You just boosted it, giving them the enzymes, the food they need to launch and actually survive the stomach.
We gave them everything that they're going to need to be able to survive and thrive. I mean, health begins in the gut and disease also begins in the gut. And so by, you're obviously going to be attacked every single day. I mean, the gut is the first line of defense that we have in our body. And especially with all the biological weapons, with all the chemical agents, everything else that's attacking us every single day, we need to make sure that we keep our gut healthy. That's why I chose the specific 23 different strains of probiotics and biome defense. We have a special form of Lactobacillus acidophilus, which produces vitamin K. Why do you think so many people are deficient in vitamin K in the world? Why do you think so many people are deficient in magnesium, calcium, copper, selenium, all of those things? The probiotics in your gut have a vital role in the absorption of some of the most sought after and needed minerals and vitamins in your body. We put the Lactobacillus brevis in there. Why do we do that? Because we know that people are short on interferon. Interferon's a protein which is produced in response to viruses, bad bacteria, tumors, harmful organisms. So that's going to help your body naturally produce the interferon in there.
And by the way, I remember you saying this 6, 7, 8 years ago that asthma's epidemic, much of it is because we don't have the right gut flora. And I was like, where's he coming from with that? Now they have a big study out, the Wall Street Journal, reporting on just that.
Yeah, asthma, allergies, leaky gut syndrome, all of these molecules. Probiotics, we didn't even talk about their role in digestion. Probiotics have an extremely powerful role in digestion. They help you digest your food. Not only is it the digestive enzymes, but also it's the probiotics. We put another probiotic in there that's missing, we found in the majority of the population. That's called Lactobacillus gasseri. And that's used to keep your weight regulated. What we found is the majority of people don't have that. And when you do put that strain of probiotic, it initiates, and these are all proven with clinical trials.
And they've got big clinical trials, as you said. Low gut flora, specifically that strain, you just keep eating and eating and eating, gaining weight, just like we knew 20 years ago. Aspartame makes you want to eat more and makes you fatter. That's why you see the biggest, fattest people are obsessed with diet drinks. And finally, mainstream media 2 years ago admitted diet drinks headline make you fat, but specifically aspartame, because it's a plan. They know what they're doing. And if you read deeply, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are the ones quarterbacking this operation, Dr. Group.
Yeah, talking about sugar. Sugar is one of the most damaging things to the gut flora, especially the white processed sugar. But this one strain that we have, this gasseri, is actually used and been studied to promote weight loss. It helps reduce body fat. It inhibits fat production. It speeds up the metabolism. It protects against obesity.
Bottom line, cows have 3 stomachs. They would die without the bacteria that break the grass down. We have bacteria and other flora. We must have them. Incredible. Now, how does this work with taking the parasite cleanse that you developed for us, the Living Defense? Because that's the big sleeper product that people just say they get the most amazing results with.
Well, it works great with anything, actually. You can, I tell you, most of these probiotics that we chose have actually been used in combination with antibiotics. And the studies show that, we think, yes, antibiotics will wipe out all the good bacteria. Every single doctor out there should be putting their patients on a probiotic at the same time as they're on antibiotics.
But the bacteria associated with the production of farming and ranching and pig farming and chicken farming and poultry farming, those are all resistant because they feed them that stuff because it makes them bloat and get fat. People ask, why do these big chicken production facilities, and by the way, I've worked in it, folks, just on the edge of it, but I've been involved cleaning them out, a job I had, it's hellish. You have to wear a breather mask and everything. It's because it makes them fat and obese. It makes the chickens and the pigs fat and obese. That's why they put it in their feed, but then it makes the bacteria that are in them totally resistant. Now you wonder why there's all the flesh-eating bacteria, but then you eat those animals, you get big dosages of it, so all you've got's the bad antibiotic resistant that are in the gut, which Bill and Melinda Gates and others are on record designing in many cases, specifically in the food chain to hit you with a soft kill weapon developed at Cold Springs Harbor by his father in Army intelligence. We'll be back. Stay with us. Alex Jones here, back live. But, which is even bigger, But why do you think it's suddenly all coming out? I mean, isn't that kind of positive, WikiLeaks and all this info? I mean, isn't it that people, even in the establishment, love their kids, and there's only a few evil people on top trying to keep us in the dark? I mean, that's why what you're doing, what others are doing, what we're doing, you know, funding ourselves to put out the truth and give people things to counter this. I mean, it's just, it's a perfect symbiotic thing. But do you think we're starting to turn the tide, or what do you think's happening?
When you start seeing the pharmaceutical companies and the big companies starting getting into the probiotics and trying to acquire all the natural health companies, be amazed at how many natural health companies you see on the shelves at Whole Foods that are actually owned by big conglomerates or private equity firms. They've been knocking on our door. It's crazy what's going on out there.
They've tried to buy us. We've had, you know, I had to sign a non-disclosure, obviously, but we've had some of the biggest cosmetic companies try to buy us.
But at the same time, they're ramping up all their artificial intelligence. They're ramping up the vaccines. They're ramping up all the chemicals. You know, look at Bayer and Monsanto, like what you're talking about. You know, you really have, you know, I always say we the people, because, you know, the people can create change in the world faster than the politicians can. Look at all the good thing with the internet, the good thing with your radio show, all the things that we've been able to get out there to people so that they can help make.
And that's why they're so scared. They know if we wake up and just change our behavior, it's game over. That's why they want to get us into a fully artificial economy they control, because then there's hardly any way to get out. Stay there. We're going to come right back in 70 seconds to give you the floor on this. And then, but you got to come to town. This is an on-fire subject, Dr. Group. I know you're at Harvard right now with top researchers. I mean, how cool is that? He wouldn't even, I'm like, where are you? I'm at Harvard to meet with him on the probiotic. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, we're not playing games here. And I'm so blessed to have him working with us. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I sit up here and I cover this stuff, and a lot of times we'll be far off from something and I make a prediction because of all the different data points I've got, and it's usually pretty darn on target. But let me tell you, it's not a good feeling to now have them openly announcing world government, openly announcing the UN is going to run race relations in the U.S. and our local police departments. That's in the Washington Post. But at the same time, I guess it's good news because our credibility is going to go up. It is going up. People are really listening now. Hillary's having to counter us. But then we know what the next shoe to drop is. They're going to shut us down. And they just shut down Michael Savage. He told me the week before they were trying to censor him at CBS. We're 2 days into him being off the air, and people are not even making a big deal out of it. Because, again, we're Americans. This can't happen here. I think we have to admit it did happen here, Dr. Group.
You know, you were talking earlier, you know, are we making progress? Are we getting the information out? And I say yes. And I really think that we are at a tipping point, and they are starting to realize that, and they know that there's so many people going online. There's so many people out there that are outspoken now. Their lies are being, you know, discovered. They're being open. Everybody's starting to realize it. So the next step, I mean, obviously, get the UN involved. You can blame it on the UN. That way it doesn't have anything to do with the U.S. government. And it really is kind of scary thinking about what's going to happen here in the next couple of years, what direction we're going to go. Think about it. I mean, what happens if they shut the internet down? I mean, that's going to completely restrict access to people getting everything they need to protect themselves. It's going
and who takes the UN over in 3 days? I mean, who takes the internet over in 3 days?
Yeah. I mean, another thing that's looking around, and one of the hot topics right now that we're getting at our office is just like, how many people do you know that are happy? I mean, you have the so much controversy going on with the elections. You have people that are just under so much stress these days. And by the way, stress is another big factor.
I know liberals, fake liberals that have always been friendly to me that now are mad at me and won't talk to me when I see them. And I'm like, hey, I forgive you for being a gun-grabbing idiot. Why do you have to hate me now? And they're so unhappy.
It's like spreading in a way, and I think that, you know, back to the gut issue, how important it is, because 90% of the serotonin is produced in your gut. And
they admit anxiety, depression, it's all record high.
You have more nerves. Think about the brain. Think about how many nerve pathways you have in the brain. You have more in your stomach and digestive tract than you do in your brain. Your appendix, which I've said for a long time, is one of the most important things. It's really your microcomputer system of your whole body. Your appendix is your brain. It actually squirts out probiotics when you need it.
Yes.
It's the Russians and the Germans linked the appendix to controlling every system in your body, the endocrine, the neurological system. And what do? We cut it out. But one of the good things about people really repairing and getting that gut, that those 3 pounds is what you're supposed to have of good bacteria, which, by the way, weighs as much as your brain. Your brain weighs 3 pounds, so go figure on that one. But when you do have
the bacteria are part of a high-tech electrochemical sensor system interfacing with our brain. The gut is hooked into the spinal cord and is just the bottom of the brain.
Yeah, the gastrointestinal tract actually has a nerve running straight to the brain. It's called the vagus nerve.
Exactly. So, it's perfect sense. The brain runs the whole show, and it's down there. It's enjoying the food itself. I mean, it's just the brain. The gut is the brain.
The gut is actually the brain, and the gut actually controls everything. And that's the biggest secret that the medical profession hopes you never find out.
Well, folks, go with the gut. We've got the new probiotic, 7 years in the making. Biome Defense, game changer. I cannot hype how awesome it is. InfoWarsLive.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Dr. Group, please come here and shoot some specials when you're done meeting with the Harvard researchers to go over all this, to really break down how amazing this is. Thank you so much. You're a godsend. We'll be back. Stay with us.